Thank you very much, Comrade Chair. Amanda! Long live SACP, long live! Long live SACP, long live! Long live COSATU, long live! Long live SANCO, long live! Long live the African National Congress, long live! Thank you very much, Comrade National Chairperson. The SACP General Secretary, Comrade Blade Nzimande, the National Office Bearers and members of the Central Committee, the ANC Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Jesse Duarte, and members of the NEC of the ANC, COSATU President, Comrade Dumo Dlamini, and members of the CEC of COSATU, the leadership of SANCO, ambassadors and members of the diplomatic corps, veterans and stalwarts of our liberation struggle, the representatives of democratic organizations present here and progressive civil society, international guests from fraternal parties, comrade delegates. I would first like, on behalf of the people and the provincial government, welcome all of you to the 14th National Congress of the South African Communist Party. Our province is honored to host this Congress here in the city of Ekurhuleni, the city of peace, the manufacturing and aviation hub of Sub-Saharan Africa. The nation at large and the people of our province await the outcome of this Congress with bated anticipation. I hope the delegates understand fully the challenges of this moment and the expectations from ordinary citizens that this Congress will address their plight and concerns about the state of our economy, as well as the issues we need to address in fast-tracking transformation of our country. Why should we and ordinary people have high expectations from this Congress of the South African Communist Party? For almost a century, South African communists have been at the center of the struggle for national liberation and social emancipation in our country. Communists, together with other leaders of the liberation movement and trade unionists, were in the forefront of theorizing our revolution and taking fearless, practical action as volunteers in every phase and pillar of our struggle. For their clarity of thought and fearless actions, for their stoical discipline and hard work, for their steadfastness of principle and truthfulness, for their selfless service and readiness to pay the supreme price for the cause of our people and in defense of the cause of our people. Communists earned respect and admiration across the length and breadth of our motherland. These attributes are required even more today as we confront the daunting challenges of our time. This important National Congress takes place at a time when South African communists are once more called upon to rise to the occasion in dealing with major issues troubling both our country and the world at large. What are some of those issues? Internationally, there is a deepening mutative crisis of global capitalism and its ceaseless tendency to increase inequalities while concentrating wealth in the hands of few elites. And this has given birth to the rise of both populism and terrorism. And for those of us who belong to the left and coming from the ANC as the disciplined force of the left, We will have to constantly deal with the question that as long as capitalism is synonymous with greater inequality and the concentration of wealth amongst the few, whilst the overwhelming majority perish in poverty in the midst of plenty, the question of the post-capitalist civilization and anti-capitalist struggles will remain on the agenda. As long as there is in the world an equal and unfair distribution of national resources, whether such resources are concentrated along the question of race, class, or gender, mobilization and organization as well as education against this unfair and unequal system will continue. And we will continue to hear the voices that say another world is possible. The South African Communist Party must continue to lead these efforts in our country to imagine a world beyond present-day organization of society along capitalist lines. Here at home, our revolution also faces serious challenges that must be confronted with clarity of thought, with stoical discipline, with steadfastness of principle, as the communists have always done in our country. We face the real danger that our revolution can degenerate and fail to deliver the dream and the promise of a truly non-racial, non-sexist, united, democratic, and prosperous society. In this regard, there are two immediate and major dangers that face our revolution. The one danger is that we continue to have a persistent and stubborn legacy of colonialism of a special type, which remains particularly socially and economically. White domination of the economy continues, whilst millions of black people remain outside the realm of the economy. There is no way we as progressive people belonging to the Congress movement can allow a concentration and monopolization of our country's national resources amongst the few, whether those few are black or white. We need effective interventions to grow our economy in a way that is transformative, that is inclusive, that is sustainable. We hope this Congress will speak to this important issue of turning around the South African economy from where we are now, which is basically a recession, so our economy can begin to address the fundamental issue of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. There are legitimate expectations that your Congress will address this matter of the state of the economy, and please don't disappoint South Africans who are waiting for what you are going to say on this matter of the economy. Comrade delegates, we need to explore a combination of various measures to broaden participation by all our people, without exception, in the economy, including those who participate as cooperatives, those who participate as township and village enterprises, and truly those particularly black people and women who must also participate in the industrial sector of our economy. We must also deploy infrastructure development to reshape both the special character of our country as well as the structure of our economy. We need to improve the efficacy of state action and state intervention, particularly with regard to the role of state-owned enterprises in driving transformative economic development and radical economic transformation. It is for this reason that we must tackle the second danger that we face. And that real danger is the immediate threat that corruption and state capture can derail our revolution. We cannot tackle radical economic transformation if our state is captured and if corruption is allowed to fester. For we will have no state to do that which it is supposed to do. To the credit of the South African Communist Party, you have been very outspoken against corporate capture of the state and these matters of corruption. The South African Communist Party has given the necessary leadership in mobilizing various social forces and citizens in defense of the integrity of our national developmental state and the constitution upon which our new republic is founded. I hope and expect that this Congress will set the right tone and right attitude about the question of the attitude of communists to corruption and state power. This is a very important issue. What is the attitude of communists to corruption and state capture? The SACP has to send a very clear and unequivocal message against the dangers of state capture and corruption, particularly because at this Congress, as you were singing, you are debating the question of state power. So as you debate state power, you must understand the dangers of corruption once you are in power, and the dangers of state power, of state capture once you are in power. I hope the South African Communist Party will learn from another fraternal organization, the Chinese Communist Party, which is very clear in its attitude and its policies and action against corruption and things like using state resources and positions for personal or means that's not for public means. Our broader liberation movement has to join the fight against corruption in a way that is unprecedented. Because, as the ANC National Policy Conference noted, we are losing moral authority as a result of being tolerant of crooks in our ranks. And if we don't tackle this, the people will be unforgiving. For its stance against state capture and corruption, the South African Communist Party, as well as cadres of the movement broadly, must be prepared to endure insults, intimidation, as well as all kinds of threats, because those who want corruption to thrive and state capture to thrive are going to fight back, and they will fight back hard. So we must be prepared to endure and fight on until, as a movement of liberation in our country, we have overcome in this regard. The South African Communist Party, together with its tried and tested ally, the ANC, need to mobilize social forces that are truly opposed to corruption, such as the churches, the student organizations, the academics, and all other sectors in our communities. This includes making sure that, first and foremost, the ANC itself succeeds in the fight against corruption, so that it can restore its organizational and ideological integrity, a matter which was well discussed over the past weekend. So all of us, comrades, as patriots and citizens of our democratic republic, must ensure that we win the war against corruption and state capture, so that we use the state effectively to win the war against poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Let us demonstrate that we can succeed. Let us renew our movement and our efforts to lead our people well. Let us rebuild our alliance. And it is in this regard that I wish this Congress a pleasant and successful deliberations. And we await the outcome of this Congress. Thank you very much.